relaxants, or these are the group of drugs. It acting on the, there are two way, one is peripherally and centrally. So peripherally acting muscle relaxant and centrally acting muscle relaxants. Sorry, before I didn't see that because that our audio is, it was muted. And second repeat, I didn't see that. So peripherally acting muscle relaxants are drugs, it acting at neuromuscular junction, and centrally acting muscle relaxants are acting on the brain. As simple as that. It is clearly it is understand that drugs acting on brain and drugs acting on peripherally. That is peripherally means it is understand that drugs acting on the autonomic system, exactly on the nerve fiber, exactly on the muscle fiber, exactly on the neuromuscular junction. Because the peripheral nerve system, it dividedly majorly cholinergic and adrenergic nerve system. Because these autonomic nerve systems are majorly the organ function is controlled. So the brain is like CPU. So rest of the other portions of the body are controlled via autonomic nerve system through neurotransmitter. So these neurotransmitters are the synthesized at the nerve terminals, that is neuromuscular junction. So these neurotransmitters only, it helps to control the muscle fiber. So because of this contraction relaxation only, we will get movement as anatomy physiology. So peripherally acting drugs are acting on the neuromuscular junction at muscular fiber, centrally on the brain. So these neuromuscular blocking agent. So one more thing, so before talking about this, why we need to take this? What is the purpose of taking this muscle relaxant? So what is the necessity of taking, intention of taking muscle relaxant? So that means these drugs to produce muscle relaxation. So wherever the clinical, what are the such clinical conditions needed to relax such muscle means exclusively and surgical interventions. As you know that, so various surgical interventions and during performing surgery, the muscles should be very relaxed. Then only easily it may be that muscle fiber, the system, it will helps to cooperate to easily we can perform surgery. Even so, that means even though general anesthetic agents which produce muscle relaxation effect, if it is ideal anesthetic means definitely it should have a muscle relaxation for easily performance of surgical interventions. As simple as that, we can say suppose we are fall down. So once he fell down, so he'll get sprain, or sometimes it will get severe pain. So back pain, just imagine back pain or something, wrist pain or joint pain. See, nowadays are drugs itself, drugs, then usually painkillers we will to take, that is NSAIDs. These NSAIDs nowadays are it available along with other drugs, that is combination drug therapy. So NSAID and muscle relaxants are made ready-madely available, especially tizanidine. So diclofenac with tizanidine, azilofenac with tizanidine, or paracetamol with tizanidine. Tizanidine, it is there. You can see if you have notes in classification it has given. So tizanidine is a very good muscle relaxant. So ready-madely it's available. So the purpose of using these muscle relaxants are we need to have muscle relaxation. So where we need to get relaxation, where we need to produce muscle relaxation means exclusively on major surgical interventions. But one more other conditions are there, for the management of various the surgical interventions and muscle tone disorders. Because wherever this it will produce the muscle relaxation or causes the various muscle contraction, or some the where such clinical conditions it produces. So muscle, where we needed muscle relaxation, especially myasthenia gravis, and especially for various ortho and the neurological procedure. So a very good example, myasthenia gravis, even last class we were discussed. So myasthenia gravis, nothing but it is a drastic muscle, fully muscle relaxed. There we need to contraction the muscle fiber. Can you follow me? Because myasthenia gravis we have discussed. There the clinical condition itself fully muscle relaxation. There we need to contraction, we need to induce contraction by stimulating acetylcholine action. Can you follow me? Because there we are taking anticholinesterase drug. But here, this is the such conditions, we need to produce muscle relaxation, because the patient is, the condition is, constriction, or maybe full of contraction. Example, tetanus, convulsion. So, or maybe especially for easily performing surgery we are using. Why it is most important, this relaxant, muscle relaxant means exclusively for easily performance of this ortho surgery or neurosurgeries. Most of these general surgeries, we are major surgeries we are performing with the help of muscle relaxation or muscle relaxant only. So these muscle relaxants are drugs which produce muscle relaxation wherever such clinical conditions are too easily to perform surgery. That's what in second paragraph it has given. The neuromuscular blocking agents are used primarily in conjunction of, along with conjunction, nothing but if you feel difficult to remember that word, leave it. Neuromuscular blocking agents are used along with general anesthetics to provide muscle relaxation for surgery. See, very simple. Neuromuscular blocking agent is the group of drug. That is, that's you see the under classification is there. So neuromuscular blocking agents are usually we used to take along with general anesthetics. Example, D-tibocurarin we are using along with nitrous oxide. T-tibocurarin used along with thiopentone sodium. General anesthetics. But unfortunately, you don't have this topic anesthesia in your pharmacology. But the general anesthetic, you have idea, no? Do you know what are the some group of drugs we are using for to induce anesthesia, isn't it? General anesthetics. Do you know anesthetic agents, Uma? Okay, so along here these drugs are we are using along with the general anesthetic agents. See, purposes, that's what I am saying. So muscle relaxants are easily means it helps to easily perform the various surgical interventions, because these drugs are because it causes the muscle relaxation. Only the thing is how it produces muscle relaxation, that only. So we are going to discuss under that inner mechanism of action. So first one we'll discuss on first one, classification of peripherally acting muscle relaxant. Okay, so first one, peripherally acting muscle relaxants, neuromuscular. I think classification all you are taken down, no? All notes you are written, no? Do you have notes, no? Yes, okay. So the peripheral, first one, peripheral acting muscle relaxants. It is clearly understand that these drugs are acting on the neuromuscular junction. I think neuromuscular junction. It is clearly understand that we wrote, no. So synapse, presynaptic nerve, synapse, postsynaptic nerve, that nerve terminals or neuromuscular junction. Can you imagine that nerve fiber, the structure of the nerve cell? Can you remember, presynaptic nerve, synapse, postsynaptic nerve, nerve terminals? Clear? Okay. So first A, non-depolarizing blockers. Example, T-tibocurarin, pancuronium, doxycuronium. That is what the example is there. Intermediate acting and short acting. Because based on the the duration of action, it is classified. So, but basically it is a neuromuscular blocking agents. Neuromuscular blocking agents, nothing but these drugs are acting on the exactly the neuromuscular junction. So neuromuscular junction, it is, I hope you understand that. So that nerve terminals, that at the neuromuscular junction only the neurotransmitters are generated. So that's what here I said, because while discussing on myasthenia gravis itself, I explained. So myasthenia gravis cases, patient itself fully relaxed. So there we need to increase the acetylcholine. Here, as simple as that, we need to block or we need to oppose the acetylcholine action, because here we know we want, as you know, it's a muscle relaxation, no. So myasthenia gravis and these muscle relaxants are just opposite action. Keep it in mind, muscle relaxants are, we need to oppose or against the acetylcholine action, but our myasthenia gravis drugs, whatever we have to increase the acetylcholine, because the acetylcholine action on skeletal muscle is produce muscle relaxation. Okay, so this is about even the even classification. Can you follow me? Okay. So second group is depolarizing blockers. Third one is directly acting agents. So depolarizing blockers, the meaning of this word, I think, I hope you can understand. It block the depolarizing curve. Here what is depolarizing means, here just you remember the action potential curve. Okay, so remember the action potential curve. So that is entry of sodium and efflux of potassium, it generate the depolarization, and entry of potassium and efflux, I mean coming out from this cell, I mean the sodium. So entry of potassium and outing of sodium, it causes repolarization, I mean ion exchange mechanism under action potential curve. So repolarization, because again specific mechanism is there, we'll discuss. But what is the, I'm trying to explaining what is depolarizing blockers. So depolarizing blocker means these drugs to prevent that depolarization curve, because depolarization curve means, because see, that means action potential curve is the basic mechanism for the, you know, the muscle activation, muscle function, or muscle, you know, what is the physiology. Only the difference is, see, already previously we have studied about antiarrhythmic drug. Antiarrhythmic is, they are also, I said, the sodium channel blocker, the drug to prevent the, you know, prolongation of depolarization. But the thing is, that is cardiac cell. And one more, anti-epileptics are there, next topic. There also we are talking to prevent the depolarization. But there is brain cell. Here succinyl, our the succinyl choline, the depolarizing blockers. Here also we are going to prevent that extending or to prevent that depolarization, that is on muscle cell. Clear? So try to understand. Only the difference is, so on antiarrhythmic we are talking about on brain cell, cardiac cell. Anti-epileptic topic, there also we are preventing the depolarization curve, that is on brain cell. Next topic we have anticonvulsant. Next, what we have, this depolarizing blockers, our muscle relaxants are also to prevent or to block the depolarization. So why we should block this depolarization? So next we can ask questions. Why we need to block? See, first one is, totally we are going to block that neuromuscular junction, because we are going to prevent that acetylcholine. Second thing is, we are going to block that depolarization curve. Why we should block the depolarization means, depolarization is, while entry of sodium and efflux of potassium, depolarization will curve generate. Because of depolarization means muscle cell, that means muscle cell will activate, muscle cell will causes mechanical contraction. Here our aim of these drugs are, we want to control, we want to block the muscle contraction, we want to produce relaxation. That's what we want to block the depolarization. Again we have under mechanism action, we'll discuss in detail. Okay, means it is understand. So what is the depolarization blockers? Depolarization blocker means succinylcholine, decamethonium, these two are drugs to prevent the extending of depolarization. Here remember the action potential curve. Next, directly acting agents, dantrolene and quinine. Quinine also, as you know that, because quinidine also, it's like sodium channels prevent the depolarization, but directly to block this entry of sodium ions. Understand that is the meaning of depolarization blockers. Okay. So next one, D-tubocurarin is next. The specifically in detail we'll discuss. Okay, I'll I'm getting your echo, ma. I'm not getting clear voice. Don't worry. So, 5:50, 5:45 we'll finish it up. Okay, so I don't want to take you behind 6 o'clock. I'll finish it up early. Okay. So, D-tubocurarin. So, next first classification is over. Peripheral acting muscle relaxants. So, peripheral muscle relaxants are neuromuscular blocking agents. Means also known to be called as neuromuscular blocking agents. Neuromuscular blocking agent means it's understand no, because the drug is going to block that, acting on the neuromuscular junction to block that neurotransmitter activity. Okay, it is there. You come. Okay, D-tubocurarin in detail. So first you have to write what type of drug. Okay, as a general description, it is a quaternary ammonium alkylate, purely isolated from plants. So this is purely planted. See, just like atropine. Keep it in mind, here we are not taking atropine, but just like atropine, similar action. But atropine is, the site of action is different. Atropine mechanism action is different. But here also as like anticholinergic effect. Keep it in mind, D-tubocurarin, just like similar to atropine action, because atropine is very good anticholinergic. Okay, next point, it is an anticholinergic effect at neuromuscular junction. This is the the point. If you understand what is the meaning of anticholinergic, so you can remember the action. So anticholinergic means what? So that means the drug is opposed or against the acetylcholine, isn't it? But how and where it will oppose that acetylcholine means at neuromuscular junction. Clear? But atropine is anti-muscarinic. The drug bind with muscarinic receptor, then oppose the acetylcholine action. But that's what I put underline neuromuscular junction, because our classification itself it is called as neuromuscular blocking agent. That's what I'm repeating. You can try to understand really why I'm telling you neuromuscular blocking, neuromuscular junction. So that means the neuromuscular junction, the neurotransmitters are generated at the nerve terminal. That is called neuromuscular junction. So these drugs acting on that junction. What kind of action? Will get anticholinergic. Anticholinergic is nothing but against the acetylcholine action. Here, why we should against this acetylcholine action? If you know the answer, this is the mechanism action of this D-tubocurarin. Generally this drug. Because why we should block? Means we should raise your question. So that means why we should block this anticholinergic. So what is necessity of taking anticholinergic? Because generally we were before and all we are talking anticholinergic is with our anti-secretory action, isn't it? Because anticholinergic we are discussing under anti-ulcer. Can you follow me? Okay, because previous topic, because anticholinergic we are talking under anti-asthma, anti-ulcer, because there and all we are talking as an anti-secretory. But here, because already I said we don't have any separate bypass to any particular cell or particular organ. Once entered in our body, so all over it will produce the different actions on different organ or different system. So acetylcholine action on, here we leave it other portion. We are talking about muscles, contraction, relaxation. So acetylcholine action on skeletal muscle is muscle contraction. Here we don't want contraction, we want to relax muscle, we want to induce muscle relaxation, hence we don't want that acetylcholine action. This understand ma? Once again I'll repeat, in naturally acetylcholine neurotransmitter produce muscle contraction, simple, single line sentence. But here we don't want to induce contraction, we want to produce relaxation. So hence we need to block acetylcholine action. But these drugs are acting at neuromuscular junction, hence the drugs are classified as neuromuscular blocking agents. Even the syllabus also it has given like neuromuscular blocking agents. Just to remember, compare with the myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis is patient itself fully relaxed. Patient is fully dilated, fully relaxed, muscle relaxation, could not able to contract, loosening of muscle. but there we want to increase this acetylcholine action. That's what even when talking about myasthenia gravis itself, I said just you try to understand, because muscle relaxations are just opposite action. So myasthenia gravis case, patient itself fully relaxed, there we want acetylcholine action, but muscle relaxant cases, for surgery cases, we want to block acetylcholine action. This is very simple, difference. Just opposite, dead opposite in action. Okay, mechanism of action. D-tuberculin. Okay, I'll read, you can understand. D-tuberculin competes with acetylcholine. If you use the word compete or means against the acetylcholine at receptors, especially cholinergic receptors or nicotinic and muscarinic at neuromuscular junction. See here, nothing I written, I complicatedly. G-tuberculin are against or oppose acetylcholine at receptors. I mean against through receptor at neuromuscular junction. Nothing but I see only concept is anticholinergic only. I wrote by this way. So T-tuberculin against or oppose the acetylcholine at receptors. Via receptors at neuromuscular junction. So that is the important, because this only, so that's what no, each and every drug have that site of action is different. So it action at the neuromuscular junction. So what happen if you are blocking this acetylcholine action? So second paragraph I'll read. So acetylcholine is prevented from combining with receptor, and so depolarization is prevented. Second I'll read. So what happen if you are blocking or against this receptor? So acetylcholine is prevented to combine with receptor, because there is no space, so because these are going to block that junction, so there is no space to bind with a specific cholinergic receptor. So what happened with the help of this? There is no depolarization. Depolarization means, again, don't get confusion, because depolarization as per the action, as per the action potential curve, as per the ionic electrolyte exchange mechanism, entry of sodium, efflux of potassium, it leads to the depolarization. Once depolarization means it causes muscle contraction. So this effect, see next third paragraph, this effect to produce, this produces muscle relaxation. Very, very simple. So T-tuberculin against acetylcholine through receptors at neuromuscular junction. What happened? Because of this, it produced the could not able to bind, acetylcholine could not able to bind with the receptor, so hence it produced the anticholinergic action. If you can't remember depolarization word, just leave it. It produces anticholinergic action. In bracket, otherwise, because I did not write in here, in bracket for your convenient. Where presentation anyway, up to your convenient, you can change. In bracket you can write, in physiologically, acetylcholine produce muscle relaxation at, acetylcholine action on skeletal muscle is muscle contraction. Here we don't want muscle contraction, we want to relax muscle. So anticholinergic action will produce muscle relaxation. So next action is, it is described as based on the ionic exchange mechanism. That means that that electrolyte exchange mechanism. See, up to this is enough. If it is 5 marks question, not necessary to explain. If it is long essay, before it was 5 marks, long essay choice. So what was the question means, to classify various muscle relaxants, question mark. Even directly classify the various peripheral muscle relaxant, question mark. Write the mechanism action and the side, uses and side effect of D-tuberculin is the long essay. Before you see the previous question paper, and separately D-tuberculin is the 5 marks question. Okay, if it's 5 marks question, this only these 2 points is enough. This anticholinergic explain it is enough. But in case if you want to write in detail, if it is long essay choice, you have to explain more, because it's not see, within a page or within on a page you can finish it up the answer. But if it's long essay, you have to write in detail. Okay, next one. In muscle cell, at rest as large concentration of intracellular potassium. Exterior, that means outside. Exterior, that is not extension, that is exterior of the muscle cell as large concentration of sodium. That means outside is more sodium, inside is more potassium. An entry of sodium into muscle cell is not possible during resting potential, resting phase. So resting phase means there is resting potential. That means the time taken between depolarization and repolarization is called resting potential. So when See next, okay. Up to this clear, ma? Yes. Okay. So next point. So when ACH means here short form acetylcholine. When acetylcholine is liberated by nerve impulse, sodium ions. See here clearly you listen. Sodium, read if you have notes. Just I think I hope you all have notes, no. So sodium ions move into and potassium ions out of the cell. That means entry of sodium and potassium will come out. Once again, I'll read. Sodium ions move into cell and potassium ion K plus ions out of the cell. This produces depolarization. This only already you all studied under action potential. This effect leads to mechanical contraction of the muscle. Okay, so when depolarization develop means entry of sodium. This is at down you see the graph. So entry of sodium and outside shown the arrow mark potassium, so depolarization. So depolarization means it's active, that means contraction. See, that means according to topic, according to the cell mechanism, just explanation will be different. See, already we are discussing under antiarrhythmic. There I said sodium channel blocker, antiarrhythmic, quinidine. So that means this because sodium it causes excitability, more contractions or more excitability, that is because of sodium. So there we are taking non-depolarizing depolarizing blockers, or you can call it as sodium channel blocker. Okay, so here on muscle cell what will happen? See, only the difference is cell only. Cell, muscle cell, heart cell or brain cell, that is secondary. Understood why we are taking depolarizing blockers? Now, do you understand why depolarizing blockers are using? Yes. Now, do you understand why it is what is depolarization? Why we are taking this depolarizing blockers? See here our drug is we have to produce muscle relaxation. Because see why I'm repeatedly I'm talking about this means if you understand this mechanism easily we can remember the classification, because the classification is classified. So classification is classified based on the mechanism of action. Classification only. Okay. Yes. Clear? Hence this D-tuberculin, due to blocking of this neuromuscular junction, it causes the or to prevent the or to block the depolarization. So this effect to produce muscle relaxation. This is the mechanism of action. Understand me? Boys. Okay. So that means I think if I hope so if you see in this graph also I wrote it. So I found muscle contraction. So repolarization means muscle relaxation. Depolarization means muscle contraction. So here we want to stop that depolarization. We want to extend the repolarization. That's what we will get the muscle relaxation. After next last paragraph. After muscle contraction is over, sodium ions are extruded or coming out from the cell, and potassium ions are enter into the cell. This produces repolarization. Now the muscle cell is ready for second contraction. So here there are majorly two actions. One is due to blocking of neuromuscular junction, it will prevent the acetylcholine to bind with specific receptor, so we'll get muscle relaxation. Second, this liberated muscle acetylcholine, then it affect to enter into the action potential. There is ion exchange mechanism, electrolyte exchange mechanism. Entry of that, you remember the even for D-tuberculin also you simply put this action potential curve. Put the curve in middle of the PC, because I forgot to writing this curve on the middle. So I used to, that's what at last I wrote this. But in exam or if in notes also you are right in center. You put the graph depolarization, resting potential repolarization. You show that exactly our drugs will to prevent the depolarization. This effect helps to produce muscle relaxation. Okay, next clinical uses. I hope you understand Okay, so clinical uses, it is an adjuvant in general anesthesia to produce muscle relaxation. That's what even the first introduction itself it has given. These muscle relaxants are usually we used to take along with general anesthetic, because already said muscle relaxants are we are using easily to perform surgery, muscle relaxation. That's what we are using along with general anesthetic. So next one, in orthopedic procedure for correction of dislocation, it should be very, what to say, all muscle fiber, muscle tone should be relaxed. So for correction of various orthopedic surgeries we can use to prevent trauma and electric shock therapy and to decreases muscle spasm in tetanus and convulsion. I think PITS patient you may see. So PITS patients are, see abnormal electric impulses from brain to the cell. So that time, they felt, severe, muscle pain. Suppose we are by hard if you are doing work, your muscle severe, muscle pain. So usually we'll take muscle relaxant only. Nowadays are that's what I said in introduction itself. It available NSAID painkiller along with muscle relaxant. We are taking along with both. So what happen? So pain also will come, inflammation, and we'll get muscle relaxation, especially sprain cases. Okay, so this especially for diagnosis of myasthenia gravis. That means if you're injecting this, we'll get come to know exactly, because we have to find out whether it is myasthenia gravis also autoimmune. One not treatment, keep it in mind, this drug is not used for treatment of myasthenia gravis, it's for diagnosing purpose, just for identifying whether it is myasthenia gravis or not. It's for identifying purpose we are using this drug, not as a therapeutic or treatment purpose. This is about D-tibocurarin. Next, adverse effect. Okay. Adverse effect. Okay, so respiratory failure due to respiratory muscle paralysis. Ultimately, obviously, it will come, no, because these drugs, what happen, if excess of dose, it produces muscle relaxation. What happen, as you know, that fully, see, due to the contraction, relaxation only, respiration can happen. It totally relaxed. What happens? So there is no further respiration, leads to more chance, there will be more chances, leads to respiratory paralysis, leads to death, even though cardiorespiratory paralysis. So you can see in here what are the symptoms are there, everything that's similar to the myasthenia gravis. This is about myasthenia gravis condition. So hypotension, cardiovascular collapse, cardiac arrhythmias, bronchospasm. But most important is cardiorespiratory paralysis. Why cardiorespiratory paralysis? Because of muscle relaxation. Why particularly cardiorespiratory paralysis means? Because there will be the more muscle relaxation, especially just remember intercostal muscle, diaphragm, lungs, muscles are just imagine fully relaxed means no further contraction, no respiration can develop. So this is about D-tibocurarin. It's available injection. Usually D-tibocurarin we are using in OT, I mean operation theaters, especially while performing surgery we are using this. General anesthetic also have muscle relaxation, but usually we used to take along with general anesthetic, easily we can perform surgery. This is about D-tibocurarin explanation. So this is about peripheral muscle relaxant. Okay, today up to this we'll finish it up. The remaining we'll see. I mean, because this is also important topic. So succinylcholine is there. Again we are going to discuss pancuronium in detail. Okay. So this peripheral muscle relaxant. So, but see, even centrally acting muscle relaxants, here I am not taking in detail, because centrally acting muscle relaxant, if it is separate question, because not at any question, if it is separate question, you have to explain about diazepam. So, this is classification. So, centrally acting muscle relaxants are, as already said, this is acting on this directly centrally, that means in the brain. So, example, if it is separate question, so to explain about diazepam. So mefenazine derivative, benzodiazepine derivative, GABA derivative, but exclusively diazepam. Baclofen, most of the injections are there, most of the tablets. I said no, tizanidine along with the diclo. So that last drug you see, tizanidine. So this is centrally acting. Okay. So today up to this we will finish. Remaining in detail about succinylcholine and pancuronium we will discuss by tomorrow. Okay. So today I will conclude this topic. So today we were discussed about muscle relaxants, especially that skeletal peripheral muscle relaxant. So these peripheral muscle relaxants are the drugs. So these drugs are acting on peripherally and centrally. Peripherally at neuromuscular junction, because at neuromuscular junction only the neurotransmitters are synthesized. I mean, synthesized these neurotransmitters only to control muscle contraction relaxation. That too, especially acetylcholine. Acetylcholine action on skeletal muscle produce muscle contraction. Here we don't want muscle contraction, we want to relax the muscle contraction by using specific drugs, that only neuromuscular blocking agent. So there is non-depolarization blockers and depolarization blockers. So these group of drugs is oppose or against the acetylcholine action via or through receptor at neuromuscular junction. That's what his name itself it has given, neuromuscular blocking agents. So as simple as that, I can say it is a anticholinergic action. Second, to prevent the depolarization. So what is depolarization means? Entry of sodium and action potential core, entry of sodium and flux of potassium, it generate depolarization, start depolarization at muscle cell. You have to specifically mention muscle cell. So because of depolarization, contraction will develop. Here we don't want to induce contraction, we want to relax muscle, hence we are block that depolarization curve. So clinical uses of this, especially for easily to perform surgery, major surgeries and orthopedic surgeries and most of the surgeries. That's what it available using along with general anesthetic. Don't get confused. Why we are using a general anesthetic means for performance of surgery. So easily performance of surgery. Okay, so side effect, just imagine totally it is going to relax the, so totally is going to produce muscle fully relaxation. So totally it causes the at least more at toxic dose it causes muscle paralysis, respiratory cardiorespiratory paralysis leads to death because fully relaxed. So this is about muscle relaxant. Understood, ma?